Welcome to our class tonight on holiday gifts and DIYs. So I actually did this class earlier today. It's such a fun one because I think it just brings so much joy to everyone. And I think my favorite part about this is it gets people getting crafty. And I love to show people how simple it is when we all were getting together and could get together. It's such a fun thing to get everyone together and make these, and people would come over. And so you're going to see some of the pictures in this class of what we've actually done in the past in our, Lorianne and I have both done these classes actually, which has been fun. And just talking about our little series that we did, this like mini 3-class series. We did cooking with essential oils last week. So if you missed it and you do want to get the recording, we have all of these, so you can let us know. Tonight is going to be the holiday gifts and DIY since we are in December. So this is a great time to talk about this. And then next week, we're going to talk about spruce up your self-care. So that's just our little agenda. Then let's see. So do you want to go through our class overview, Lorianne?
So as Shay said, we're going to talk about DIY ideas and how-tos. I think all of these we've done multiple times between Jade and I, and they're really easy. But there's also some that we will share that may feel more complicated. If those aren't for you, no worries. We're going to send the recipes, so don't worry about writing anything down. It'll come to you via a link later. So no worries there. And then we'll also share with you a little bit about the holiday catalog, that if you just don't want to go through the DIY and that's not yours, you can just click it and it'll show up on the doorstep.
Awesome. Okay, so we're jumping right in tonight because there's a few that we want to talk about. So the first one, if we were to categorize this, is we're going to talk about doing room sprays. So we use sprays for many different things, mostly to make a room smell good. The other one would be to put as a linen spray. And then we actually kind of finish up on this. We can make sprays for our hair to help make hair grow. We make sprays for getting rid of insects, so pest away spray. So these are just some ideas of why we would make a spray. So I'm going to explain it one time, and the first time how to do the basics of a spray. So the first thing you want to do is grab a 2-ounce spray bottle, and you want to have that bottle open and put it down on a solid platform like a table or whatever it is. And then you take your essential oils and you put that in next. So we almost always do it that way. Another thing when we're doing sprays is almost always witch hazel is involved. And the reason that we involve witch hazel with a spray is oil and water don't really mix. So witch hazel is an astringent, and that's going to help for the oil and water to actually mix. We say typically a teaspoon of witch hazel for most of these recipes when doing 2 ounces. But my favorite bottle is the one that's actually pictured, which is called Thayer's, unscented, and it has a really nice little spout at the top. It's like a red top, if you can see. And honestly, you can just do a tiny little squeeze or a splash. So you don't have to obsess over the amount that you're getting in. You just will need some witch hazel. The other thing just about making these sprays is having a stainless steel funnel, and I believe it's in the next picture, which you're going to see in the next slide, is also really helpful when making these, so that when you pour the water in, all of these sprays are going to have essential oils, witch hazel, and water. So I like to use one that has a spout like this, so that when you pour, you can control. And another tip that I often give is, I've got my little thing to demonstrate, but let's just say that this was my spray bottle and this was my funnel. I will lift it up a little bit to create a tiny bit of air, and then you won't have the liquid when you're pouring pool in the funnel and then it wants to kind of overflow. But if it does get full, you just lift this up a little. As soon as it has air, it goes right through. So those are just some little tips about making sprays in general. So the Room Refresh spray, here's one of our favorite recipes. This one has 10 drops of purification, 5 drops of orange. Again, you're going to add a teaspoon of witch hazel. Then you would put the funnel, and then you're going to fill it with water. And one more little tip is I like to keep a Thieves multi-purpose cleaner spray and paper towel with any and all things that I'm making before I put a label on. So I make my, whatever I'm making, a roller, spray, whatever it is, I close it up and then I spray on the outside with the Thieves Cleaner Spray because it will clean any residue that might be oily or greasy. If you have any kind of oil or grease, it's not going to adhere. Your label's not going to stick to the bottle. So anyway, that one is our favorite Room Refresh one. So here's the next one, same idea. Lorianne, do you want to talk about this, or do you want me to just talk about all the sprays for a sec?
Yeah, you could talk about the sprays. This scent though is one of my favorites. It just,
okay, go ahead. Then you talk about this one.
I actually got several of these because I'm going to include them as stocking stuffers for our family, but of these small bottles, and then using the Christmas spirit, just a few drops of it. And if you've ever seen the little like chalk labels, you can also get cute little labels off of Etsy if you want, but using those little chalkboard labels, and I'm going to write something on that and give a bars of charcoal soap. Anyway, but it's just a fun little holiday gift to do. Yeah, I mean, that's really all I'll say about this one.
Perfect. So again, you can see that even in that recipe too, same idea, follows the exact same thing. You're going to open up that bottle, put in the essential oils first, then a splash of witch hazel, and fill it up with water. So this one is so great if you have any friends or family or anyone that you want to give this to that has a baby. Even a newborn is fine. So this one, you know, you can kind of, a lot of these we do play on words. And so this one you can call Silent Night or just Night Sleep Spray. And this would be a 2-ounce spray bottle, and you would add 10 drops of lavender, 5 drops of Valor. Again, you'll put a little bit of witch hazel, fill it with water. And this one you can spray on a crib sheet. You can spray it in the room that a baby is in before bedtime. And it's really nice for our linens as well. It just smells so, so relaxing. So nice to spray on our pillow before we go to sleep. And a quick thing on this one that I wanted to mention, there was something I wanted to say about this. No, it will come to me. Sorry.
You dilute it any differently if it's for a baby than if it is not for a baby?
Yes, if it is, thank you for that, Lorianne. If it is for a baby, I would, if it's going to go on the crib sheet, I would probably just do 5 drops of lavender in this bottle. But if it's going to go be sprayed all around, that's only if they're like under 6 months. Otherwise, this recipe is absolutely fine and safe. And you don't need to, we're not spraying to drench. We're literally spraying from a distance. Oh, that I just remembered too, what I wanted to share as well, is when you give the person the spray bottle, just tell them before they use it, they want to go up, down like this, just once, just to get everything to mix. So they don't have to do a vigorous shake. It's just sort of a one-time shake before they spray it. Okay, so next one, again, another spray idea. So this is a bug away spray, and we did want to add this one in because some states or climates or anywhere in the world really is not so cold, and a lot of people are outdoors still and are in areas where there are pests and annoyances. So unfortunately, a lot of insect repellent is full of toxins. One of the ingredients to look out for is called DEET, and that stuff is a toxin. So it's found in a lot of these. So this is a really nice natural way to use this. Even people that are out in their garden and feel like they're being bitten or... So this one has 10 drops of lavender, 10 drops of Eucalyptus radiata. There are actually 3 types of eucalyptus. So you want to use this one. They all do different things. And 10 drops of purification and 10 drops of lemongrass. So yes, there's a lot of essential oils that go into this, but I don't know about, I mean, for me, like you definitely want to not have any annoying like mosquito bites when you're out in Hawaii, like my husband who proposed to me in this bamboo forest in Hawaii, and then we literally had to run down this mountain because he was being eaten alive. So I wish we had this with us. We could have lived out the moment a little longer. So again, you're going to add the alcohol-free witch hazel like we showed you. And we say distilled or purified water. Honestly, for me, I do use just fridge filtered water. It's absolutely fine. Those of us who have decent tap water, that's okay too. So that's it. Okay, this one is, we're calling it a skin soother spray. Again, for those in warmer climates, but some of us also are sitting out even in winter time. and getting sunburns. I know people who get sunburns who are in the snow.
And the dry chappedness. My son gets just that dry chappedness from the cold dryness. It's
right, like the chafing. So essentially, this one is made to soothe skin that has like been in the sun a bit too much. That is the point of it. And the reason is it has the peppermint in here. So peppermint is always trying to cool things down. So and lavender, by the way, is incredible. So our lavender, it's a species called like, oh gosh, this word is always very hard for me, but it's like Augustine folia or something like that. There's like several different types of species of lavender. And when you really learn about it, you learn that there are only certain kinds, and this is the one that we use, Young Living uses, which can be used on a 3rd degree burn, up to a 3rd degree burn. It will help, it will soothe, and it will prevent it from actually doing further damage. But there are other lavenders, and this is why it's so important to only use high quality essential oils that will exacerbate the burn. It will make it worse. So you do want to be very careful what you're using. Anyway, in this one,
can I use this shade?
Pardon?
I burn myself on the stove cooking tonight. Can I?
Absolutely.
The spray.
That is, yep, that is my favorite oil. I literally leave lavender. Look, I also have these little burns. This is
yes.
Yeah. Yep. So this happened like last night, and right away I just went for the lavender, and you put it neat, which means undiluted. So I like to keep a lavender in the kitchen. Not that I'm trying to suggest that I'm going to always get burned, but it's a good oil to have in your kitchen. And really, it took away the sting right away. I actually forgot about that till now, till you mentioned about the burns.
Just fresh in my arms, so I thought I'd ask.
Yes, it's a brilliant one to have and just use right away.
I have a question.
Sure.
So, okay. I just know like the lavender, is that okay to use? Or just because I think that I'm out of lavender. So like, can I use the baby one?
The calm? Seedlings calm?
Yeah, the one that's, yes,
yes, that should be fine, because
it's also
mixed? Yes, it's also
okay.
Diluted, so you shouldn't have an issue with that at all.
Because like my hands are like bleeding every day now.
Oh, like so there is a dry serum. It's a dry skin essential oil. It is incredible. It actually has cedarwood. So that for that purpose that you're suggesting, you need something even more hydrating. Lavender's great, but I love the dry skin serum. I can show you what that looks like. It's kind of in a white label. It's really like my favorite thing. Yeah.
Thank you.
Sure. And rose ointment, Hannah.
Oh, I have that.
Yes. So right now you could always add like 1 or 2 drops of lavender or frank to the rose ointment. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And by the way, in the recipe before, Lorianne, I feel like we didn't
Sorry.
No, it's okay. We didn't talk about the aloe vera in this one. So the one that we're soothing skin for not being in the sun, from sunburns, we do want to add some aloe vera into this as well. So that's super important. It's the only spray that has aloe vera. Okay, that's what I wanted to mention there.
Perfect.
Why don't you talk about the lip balms?
She actually made these lip balms. I remember 2 years ago, I went to one of her make and takes. Actually, it was the same month that I decided to come on board with Young Living. And yes, every month try all these products because I had tried so many things at the make and take and fell in love. So these chopsticks it was a little labor intensive. I would say this is one of the more advanced patient needing recipes. Jay did an amazing job at doing so for all the guests. We just got to pick what we wanted and she did, which is really fun. But it's really awesome and I'll let her talk about the recipe of it all, but also for those of you who are like maybe tuned out to that, just so you know, Young Living also has a series of chopsticks that you can also get if you don't want to go through this process. Though this process is really fun and I think very economical, and your loved ones just feel really thought of when you've made something so loving for them. But Jay, do you want to talk about how you made the recipe? Because I feel like you do that best.
Sure. So this one, the most important thing here when we're making like a lotion or we're doing a lip balm is we actually are going to be using a double boiler. So the first thing is to just take a look at the ingredients, right? So here we have, what I love about this recipe so much is that you use very little. It's almost like when you make this, you wouldn't believe that it would yield so much. That is my favorite thing about that. So for the lip balms, it's 1.5 tablespoons of beeswax pellets. And let me warn you to read the reviews of the one that you choose. Definitely try and get the cleanest organic one. I have purchased a really not great one that actually had petroleum in it. And when I opened the bag, it honestly smelled bad. It smelled like gas. So I later read the reviews and a couple people complained about the same thing and sent it back. So just watch that you're getting a good quality beeswax, basically. Then a tablespoon of shea butter, tablespoon of cocoa butter, which smells amazing, and then a tablespoon of cold pressed organic coconut oil. So you would take all of those. The sweet almond oil is already in a liquid form, so it doesn't need to go into your double boiler. So a lot of us, and neither does your castor oil, by the way, a lot of us have these old school, old fashioned double boilers. It's not that common anymore. So you can just take a pot, put some water in there like this much, let it boil and heat, and then add a Pyrex dish or anything, you know, that you could even put like our usual oven dishware. So you would put that in, make sure it is on a medium heat, and then you're going to throw in all these things into that bowl, not in the water. It's just in the bowl that's on the water. And I usually use a whisk or a fork to just help to melt everything. Once all has melted, you actually turn off the heat. Don't let it get too hard, but you do need to let it cool down before you add the essential oils. So as soon as it's cooled a little bit, I then add some sweet almond oil. The castor oil is optional. That adds shine. And then you're going to add the essential oils. So in this case, we actually add the essential oils kind of at the end, just before pouring it. So another piece of advice here is I actually made mine and then put it in a jug that has a spout like this again, so that I could pour it, you know, neatly into the tubes. So we get this little kit on Amazon and it's called like the lip balm kit. Not very expensive. It comes with about 50 empty tubes like this. And then it has a topper. Firstly, it keeps it kind of controlled. So it keeps them all lined up. In my image, I didn't use all of it. And so I didn't need, you know, anyway, it's a great little kit. It makes it super simple. And then it has like a, what are those things called? Like a Pratley knife, when you scrape something, like you clean up a hole in the wall. So it's got something like that basically smooths out the top as well. So it makes it look really pretty. But if you don't want to do it in these little tubes, and we can continue onto the next page, Lorianne, by the way, if you don't want to do it in these tubes, you can also put it in a little tub. And there's like some fun things that people buy where you open it. Just a thought or a note is lots of people are very conscious about taking dirty hands and putting it into a tub. So for lip balms in general, they like to just use this where fingers aren't involved. However, you can use a tub. I've seen people have a tub and just put the tub like on their lips. It's kind of funny, but I also wash my hands before I actually use my hands to dip into that. So anyway, that is pretty much how you would do that. And then it hardens very quickly. So if it starts hardening while you're trying to make it, just pop it back onto the medium heat stove and then get it to kind of liquefy again. Okay, so variations of this recipe are going to be peppermint and thieves. Remember that peppermint is a hot oil, and so it actually will plump your lips. So it will give you that tingling sensation. Some people love that, some don't. I like that combination, the peppermint and thieves. In the original, like 2 slides ago, we actually suggested cinnamon and orange. So that's also a very festive smell that a lot of people like. And cinnamon is also a hot oil, so it's also going to plump the lips. And then if you wanted to make one for a child, or I would recommend you go with a lavender and lemon, where it's more just calming and soothing. And peppermint and grapefruit is also, either of those is also really nice. So you can really mix and match whatever kind of smell you like. You're not going to go wrong. I wouldn't recommend using something like Dryables as a lip balm. So choose something that actually smells nice, and they do have some different purposes. So all these recipes, and we'll, yeah, do you have a question, Hannah?
Sorry, no,
Okay.
I don't know if it's a silly one or not, but are we only allowed to use the Vitality one?
It's not a silly question. It's a good question. And typically, I don't feel like all these recommendations that we have actually are all vitality oils. I don't think that I'd have a need or a use to say use Valor or Purification, which in general are not really vitality oils. So that's actually a great question. I would probably stick to vitality oils just for the sake of it, even though the amount that goes in with the amount of carrier oil, I really doubt there'd be any issue. If there was a smell that you loved, I'd say go for it. The same way that we use, like, the intention of a lip balm is not to actually eat it, right? It's still on the outside of our body. So even though my younger daughter is like, I don't like lip balm because then I always want to eat it. She literally has said that. She's like, it makes me want to do this.
Yeah.
So
I think it smells so good.
yeah, exactly. She's like, it smells good. And so I feel like it tastes good. So, and which is not a bad thing. But like we have, sandalwood lotion that we use. We're using, like, there is a Valor bar of soap. So they are using these beautiful smells in our soaps and our lotions, and it's not a problem. So my answer to you is not a problem at all. But it just so happens that the ones we're suggesting are the vitality options. Yeah. So, and then of course, if you wanted to, we actually have more options here for Young Living's lip balms that are ready made. And a fun little tip about our lip balms, especially the lavender one, it's such a great owie balm to use. I have used that on many, like my little one who loves the monkey bars. I will put it on her calluses, so I will literally take like my finger that's clean, shave off some of the top, and I will use that on very dry skin. You can even use it on some chafing for like cheeks. And it's very mild, it's very gentle. So those ones, yeah, on the dry hands, yep, you can absolutely try that because it's really it's just a good formula. It's a fantastic formula and nothing is harmful or toxic. So another thought for someone who tells me their hands are very dry and cracked is, what soaps are you using? Make sure that you're using hydrating and non-toxic hand soaps. Sanitizers, no alcohol. So really consider using our purifier, the waterless one. Yep, thank you, Lorianne, which actually is infused with peppermint. It smells amazing. And when you use it, it even has a silicone feel. That's one of my favorite gifts to also give people this time of year, is that sanitizer to give to especially nurses, teachers. Those are my two favorite products right there. And the differences between what Lorianne is showing you is the gel, which is the hand purifier. It's the one where you can see through the bottle. Yes. So that one is going to be more, it's a waterless sanitizer, as you would know. And the spray, which is the other one, is fantastic to use for anyone who's traveling on a plane. So you would use it more on surfaces. Now, here's a fun little fact. That spray, yeah, you want to clean whatever in front of you. That spray is fantastic as a throat spray. People don't think that or know that. We cannot label it as such because it is a cleaner. It's actually meant to clean, but there is nothing in it that's toxic. So if your throat hurts or is bothered, seriously, just 1 or 2 sprays to the back of your throat. It's amazing. So I love that Thieves spray. I do not step on an airplane without that product. Okay, so now we spoke about back to the lip balm. So that's everything on the lip balms. And again, we have far more choice. We also get some seasonal ones like vanilla mint. We get cinnamon, which is cinnamon and mint. We get, thank you, yep, like those ones. We get quite a few. They do have in our holiday catalog, we have like a set of 4. So if you have someone who loves lip balms, or even if you want to buy one and share it amongst a few people, it's a really nice gift. So yeah.
So I'll share about this one. Oh, let me scroll up. There we go. Body scrubs. This is one of my favorite. I actually make it. I was making it for my grandma literally like probably once a month. She'd go through one when she lived next door to me. So this is one that I made most recent, but it's very simple. You take a 4-ounce or whatever size you wish, but for this recipe, it's a 4-ounce glass mason jar. Always important to use glass. 5 drops of lavender oil, essential oil, 5 drops of lemon essential oil. You can change those oils, keep the ratios the same, but if you want to change the essence of it or the smell, you can get creative. 1.5 cups of organic raw sugar. You can use brown or white, it doesn't matter. I just like how the brown looks. 1/4 cup of carrier oil. This can be a Wild's V6. It could be almond oil, grapeseed oil, coconut oil, olive oil, truly whatever you have, avocado oil, and that you like. And then what you're going to do is you're going to combine all the ingredients. I like to, and when we did it is we kept the oils in one, like you have your wet ingredients, we mixed them all together, and then you had your sugar, and then we poured in all the oils together, the carrier with the essential oil into that, and just stirred it and put it in here. If you don't have a bowl, I've totally been guilty of just putting it in here, the oils first, the sugar, and I just shake it. And that totally works as well. Jade, do you want to add anything to it?
That one, I like to just use a fork. So I too have totally put it into that mason jar, like ready to go, put all the ingredients in one thing and just mix it with a fork. And you can also change up. Some people like a different consistency. So I do recommend following this if it's the first time you're making it. And just remember that olive oil is going to have its own scent. So it is going to change the smell of the whole thing. So in general, I personally prefer to use unscented. So I love our V6 oil, which is what Young Living has. It's got a really nice feel to it. Or my other favorite one is going to be the fractionated coconut oil. And I just choose an organic kind from Amazon. Yeah. Happy foot scrub. Okay, here's another idea. A lot of women have cracked heels. So this one, same idea, 4-ounce glass mason jar, 15 drops of orange, and very fun, but you can actually add vanilla essence to this. Now, when we made this, we didn't have vanilla essential oil. We now have vanilla essential oil. So you could, in essence, I hope I'm not confusing you here, add the vanilla essential oil instead. And in that instance, I would suggest to put 3 drops or 5 drops, it's plenty. And then you're going to add 2 cups of granulated sugar or salt. Either one works just fine. And we found that jojoba oil works better for the purpose of a foot scrub, probably because it's a thicker oil. And so it leaves a thicker residue, which is what most of us women anyway really do need in terms of hydration. Another very interesting and fun fact, I just want to throw that out here, but if you do have dry and cracked heels, a lot has to do apparently with your thyroid gland and it's hormonal. So we have an oil called Endoflex, and I really encourage you guys to try and use Endoflex daily. I put like a drop in my belly button before I go to bed at night. It also really helps with night sweats, if anyone has that, and hot flashes for later on when you're pre-menopausal or menopausal or even post-menopausal. So a really fantastic oil to support women's hormones. And I will tell you firsthand, it has helped night sweats that I've had, and my heels are definitely improved. And I haven't done the foot scrubs in a while, so I know for sure it's from the Endoflex. So I did want to just share that with you guys. And some people put it on their thyroid. It can feel a little bit tingly, burny, so I prefer to do it at night. And you can dilute it if you feel that it is a bit too like tingly sensation. Yeah, Lorianne?
I read too, when I started using it at first, I put it under my big toes. In the morning,
Yes.
I don't do that, but at night I remember to put it before bed under my big toes. I need to be more consistent, and I'll probably start helping with my heels. I'm excited.
Yes, I mean, I really found a big change, but I think more so when I started using it like in my belly button, oddly enough. But yeah, and there's something too, which is a whole other conversation we could talk about in terms of placement of oils. And that particular technique is called buttoning. And I really encourage you guys to actually look that up. You can look up essential oil buttoning, and it talks all about how we use essential oils in our belly. Okay, so rollers, you want to talk about it, Lorianne?
Yes. So you can use different size rollers. On this particular one, there's 10 milliliter rollers. There's also small ones. Depending, you would just, if it was 5 milliliter, chop it in half as if you were cooking. Not the roller, but the recipe, right? 10 drops of peace and calming. Same theory here. You want to apply the oils, essential oils first, drop them in. I like to, when I'm making a roller, use a dropper bottle. So I'll fill a dropper bottle up with like the Young Living's carrier oil or a fractionated coconut oil, and I'll suck that up, and then that way it's much easier to drop it and fill it up with the rustic carrier oil. So essentially you drop in 10 drops of peace and calming for this Peace on Earth one, 5 drops of frankincense essential oil, and then you would do this thing here to fill it until just about to the top of the neck or the base of the neck, the shoulder. And then when you put a top on, Jade taught me this. I put it on as best I can, but you can also utilize the lid to take it off if it's stuck on, if it's kind of a challenge. You just kind of squeeze it and you pull, and it comes off nicely. You don't need to shake these. She has always taught me to roll it, roll it, and that'll mix the oils in with the carrier oil, the essential oil with the carrier oil, and it's ready to go. For this particular one, and this is what Jay was talking about, application, for oils that impact like your spirits or lift your spirits or your hormones or emotional, it's really nice to do it where you do perfume. So on your inner wrists or behind your ears.
Pulse points.
Yes. You can, you could do it behind your neck. For me, I love doing it right at the crane, the base of my neck. I do the CBD Calm Roller there often. And then my temples are some of my favorite. You know how about Joy to the World?
Okay, sure. So this is another one. We just kind of did a spin on the word joy to the world. A lot of these are obviously after Christmas carols, but truly just calling it joy. And you can see in the image before we had some labels. I feel like everybody needs more joy in their life right now. So there's just plain joy or peace. It's like, honestly, stretches far beyond any religion or religious kind of connotation here. So with the joy roller, I really love to give this one. And this one would have, in a 10 ml bottle, 10 drops of joy, 8 drops of orange, and then you're going to fill it with carrier oil. This one, again, pulse points, but joy, we love to put it over our heart. So very good to know and to remember that joy goes on the heart. And by the way, lots of little kids love to make these rollers and get involved. And what Lorianne was saying before, I personally prefer using the pump function when I'm filling up a roller bottle, and I make like an L shape where I'm holding the roller bottle like this, and then the pump is, it looks like an L. But with little ones, it's very hard for them to control the pump and hold the bottle, and it's almost a guarantee they're going to drop something and things are going to spill. So without setting them up to fail with this, use that dropper bottle instead and just teach them how to hold the thing on the table. But they love to get involved and make this. So I just recently had 2 families over, and we actually made, that was just a mom and her daughter and another mom and her daughter, and we made gifts for their friends and their family. And so the little girls got involved, and they were loving to do 5 ml rollers of the same recipes like we were doing, but for their friends in smaller quantities. Yes. So that's just a really nice thing I wanted to just mention there. Moving on, this is really great for the yogi in your life or prayer or meditation. So this is a fantastic roller. It's called the Savasana Roller, which comes from it's one of the positions that you do in yoga, but it also comes from the Oil and Glass recipe book. I will say that doing any variations of these, like if you don't yet have Sacred Mountain or Sacred Sandalwood, just the Frank Lavender and Valor are fantastic in a roller for anyone who might have anxiety or anybody who likes calm. And I actually recently made a roller that I read a testimonial about for someone who has dementia and a lot of anxiety, an older person. And she made a roller for this person that has 15 drops of frankincense, 10 drops of lavender, and they actually put, what was the third thing? Valor. So it was 10 lavender, 10 valor, and 15 frank. yeah, so it was those first three things. And they said that they really noticed that when they were with their mom, she was like much more calm and could honestly like remember a lot more of who she was and stuff. So I've just made that for a friend whose mom is having some very obvious signs of dementia as well. Anyway, the Shavasana, a great one there for anybody who's into anything that is spiritual in terms of prayer meditation. Okay, so moving on. This one, Lorianne, you want to talk about this one?
Sure. So this is Sleep Tight, Wake Bright. I love Jade's title in this one. 10 milliliter, again, roller bottle. 10 drops of lavender, 8 drops of valor, 5 drops of frankincense. I also sometimes like to, especially for the Shavasana, substitute sacred frankincense. It's a little bit pricier, but if you're doing it for a spiritual purpose and or for extreme health purposes, sacred frank is the next level up and very, very good. And then from there, you're going to fill it with carrier oil, either in the L shape with the pump. Some of the taller skinny bottles that we have of our carrier oils have a really simple pump, or even ones you can get with fractionated coconut oil elsewhere, or the dropper bottle. I'm a kid at heart, so I use the dropper bottle always. Fill with your, and that's it. You fill it with your choice. And then again, applying it to, I tend to like to apply this one even to, it doesn't, to the bottoms of the feet, it does say actually, to the bottoms of your feet when I'm going to sleep. I also tend to do Thieves stuff on the bottom of my feet. And I think it is because it's also highly absorbed there, right, Jade?
Right, we have the largest pores under our feet. So the same way that we can go for reflexology, and there's links with medians to all the different parts of the body that are directly under our feet. They're also in our ear, and they're also on the palms of our hand. So you can find any of those. It's very fascinating. You can actually use it on your feet, and it just gets fully absorbed into the body and can be found. You know, there's evidence of it in your blood. Another quick thing before we move on to this roller is, interestingly, you'll notice that a lot of the times when you see essential oils for focusing or prayer or meditation, they're very similar to the ones that we use for sleep. And so we get asked a lot like, well, surely if we were using it for just prayer or meditation, we don't need to pass out and sleep. So it's not exactly that. It's just that a lot of those oils work on that same part of our brain that takes just like deep, deep relaxation and concentration. So it's never going to make you just knock out and pass out, but it's going to help you to sleep deeper. Same thing with, you know, ADD or ADHD, any of these things, and you wanted to kind of keep focused and grounded. The purpose of these is really grounding. That's the intention. So it just makes whatever the thing is deeper. So I did want to just share that little tip. Okay, so then we have Havenly Teacher. So this is a really nice one to give to any person who's been helpful in terms of your kids' lives. And like, I think, you know, giving one of these oily gifts to teachers is such a great gift. I think that so many of them get given gift cards and get given, you know, cookies, chocolates, the usual things. So how special to actually give them something that is to relieve their stress. So this one is very simple. It's stress away. If you wanted to be more generous, or you can gift them a stress away bottle and an aroma glide fitment. So if you don't feel like making a roller, you can just put the topper on and pop the roller piece off, and then change it for an aroma, you know, an aroma fitment glide on that, and then they can use it on their wrists and behind ears. Smells amazing. But if you do have several of these teachers to thank, you're welcome to do your own rollers that would basically have 10 drops of the stress away in a 10 ml roller, again filled with carrier oil, and again you're going to give them instructions to just roll it on their wrists and behind ears. I always like to make things simple for people and say, roll it where you would a perfume. So just pulse points, wrists, behind ears, and then they kind of have that in their mind and their head. Okay. Bath salts. Lorianne, you want to talk about this one?
Sure. So this is a neat one. This is actually at that Make and Take. We've duplicated it several times at Jade's house. But she did a clever thing where we had a different variety so people could kind of choose which they felt like making and have some options. Each one is good for, well, I use it for one bath purpose. There's calm, peace, joy, and then the last one was detox. And so each one has one oil in it, and a couple drops each. And we made it like a sandwich. So we'd first take the test tube in this case, but you could also, this is just an example of these things where like at the dollar bin at Target, it has confetti in it, but something like this, small in glass, would also work. Or you wanted to give them more, use the mason jars, right? But you basically would fill it first about halfway with the salt, or the, depending on which one you're using, the type of sea salt. Then in the middle of the sandwich, you'll put in the drops of oil. And if you're using any flowers or whatnot, you can put them throughout. And then finish it off with the rest of the sea salt. And then you just plug it. Some people like to put on the top of the cork. I know that a couple of us did that. We just put a little drop at the top of the cork. So kind of when you open it, you get that essence and smell. But that's it. Jade will have
awesome. And yeah, and that one we use dried flowers, just to be clear, because I know Lorianne, you said just throw in the flowers, but yeah, no, totally fine. Yeah, like we love to use dried lavender for this one. Rose petals are really pretty. So those are some things. Yes, you can use Epsom salts 100%. So you have fun. Honestly, any salt is good. I just don't love NaCl, straight up table salt, which I don't know many families that even use that anymore. But pink Himalayan, fantastic. White, Dead Sea, black Hawaiian, there's like a lava rock salt. So you can really have fun with the colors and play around.
Good picture. Yeah, you could use this. This is Epsom salt. So this is something I'm actually mailing to a friend. But it's just Epsom salt in a bag. And then it's, because I ran out of mason jars, and then it's this. So she can literally just, pour it in her own bowl and mix it up, not pour it in this bag, as an idea. Also, on that note, before we get to it, if you want to make bath salts, because we don't have recipes in here, you can also, Young Living sells these in 4-packs. They're incredible. You can buy a whole 4-pack, and then I actually just like divide them up for stocking stuffers, or just as gifts for surprises for Hanukkah or for anything. They're really, really awesome. And there's 4 per pack. And they're done. You don't have to make it. So this one is a stress away one, but they have lavender, and then there's holiday ones too, which I'll show you. We'll show you in the catalog after when we finish.
Yeah, and I don't know if any of you guys can agree to this. I've used those a lot, especially with my kids. The lavender one that we use a lot is so moisturizing, and I kind of have a tip for my own one when I use for my girls. I kind of chisel at that thing, so I don't use the whole thing in one go. It smells so good, so I actually just like cut off some of it. I'm not joking. I get like very creative with my hack job. So I do like a little chisel and I drop some into the bath, and then at least it can last like a long time. Yeah. So, and it smells really good. And honestly, I can feel in their skin, it really softens the skin. So that's really nice.
That's a good way.
Yeah. And those are called our bath bombs.
Recipe for a bath. Very cool. You want to talk about this one, Jade? I've not made
it. So I'll go through this one pretty quick. It's the Mermaid Hairspray. This is for anyone who you want their hair to grow. Sounds really interesting. I feel like a lot of people have, it's alopecia, right? I'm totally saying that wrong, but it's where you lose hair, and then it's very common. And the other one is any cancer patients that might have had treatment and are wanting their hair to grow back. So I've made this for a family member who did have cancer, and it worked tremendously well. So it's a spray bottle, 10 drops of rosemary, 10 drops of lavender, 10 drops of cedarwood, 1 teaspoon of witch hazel, and then you would fill it with water. So you spray that on average once or twice a day. When you wash hair, when it's a little bit damp is when you would spray it in again. You can absolutely go up to the roots. It's not going to make your hair greasy. And then just a fun fact is, if you wanted a beach look, or if it was something for you and you feel that you have more limp hair, you can actually add salt water instead of regular water, and it will actually make your hair like a lot more, volumized, if you will. Okay, so for those of us who might have hair that's very dry, I recommend doing the same recipe, but we're not going to use water. So you're actually going to instead make a serum, and you're going to put it into a pump bottle. So you can just buy an empty pump bottle, and this particular recipe, 10 drops of rosemary, lavender, cedarwood, like I just said before, 2 tablespoons of the jojoba oil, and 2 tablespoons of argan oil. And in this case, we're going to use it only from ponytail down. So it's just the ends of your hair. You don't want this by the roots. It will make it greasy because of the argan oil and the jojoba oil. So that's that one. So Lorianne did a really nice summary here of just writing down and kind of having an idea of all the things that you would need. This just makes it easy for you to go and get like a shopping list. I'm not going to read through the whole thing, but it's all in there. You know, things like washi tape and a marker that helps you to make labels. Some people have purchased the Damo label maker and they make their labels that way. So that really helps. Those are just the supplies. And then the next one, you have the essential oils, which are basically, Lorianne went and pulled all the oils that we spoke about. Haven is stress away. Sorry, in South Africa, it's called Haven, but in the United States, yeah, it's stress away. It's the exact same oil. So all of those are listed for you and you can then go and, you know, purchase it. So Lorianne, do you want to talk a little bit about the ready to gift ideas?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's loading. There we go. See, it was the outdated one. There's a lot of things we've already showed you throughout, but just to recap, the Thieves cleaner, the hand, or sanitizer, excuse me, the waterless purifier. Then there's the ones that you see in the picture of the pump soap, the hand soap. They also make that in lavender and in luscious lemon, which is one of my favorites. And then there's some holiday scented ones that are more woodsy.
Which are, there's 2 of them right now. And I want to mention them because they're so amazing and they're going to go in some of our Christmas and end of year gifts, Hanukkah gifts. So there's Christmas Spirit for those who do celebrate Christmas. And then there is Winter Nights. It is amazing. It smells so good that my daughter literally, I had bought a 3-pack that I could gift to. She stole the one from the bathroom here and put it next to her sink in her room. I was like looking for the soap and she's like, oh, I really like that smell. So that one will be mine. Anyway, so I gifted her one to have for her own room. It smells incredible. So Lorianne is showing you now, this is the catalog. We have a whole holiday catalog and there's some beautiful things you can get. I did get this lotion for someone, which is the Winter Nights. It was, yeah, the page before. That essential oil, incredible as well. And then there's also that vanilla mint set, which was a scrub and a lotion. So again, like I said, it was the pages before, Lorianne. But again, what we were saying is I can actually speak on each one of these things. I've gone through this catalog and I've actually tested and smelled a lot of these things, which has been fun. So I'll share some stuff with you guys super quickly. This one, you can purchase these premium Dryables from Young Living. They're actually made by, I think this one was, are they Puerto Ricans? I totally remember, but each thing has kind of a story. So what they did with a lot of these gifts is they went to the Young Living Foundation and they found these people that are artisans in these places and they're donating. So a lot of the proceeds of when you're purchasing these things go straight to these people. So someone literally sat there and handmade a lot of the things that could be handmade, which is amazing. So that's the premium Dryables. I keep forgetting where that one's from. I know someone will tell me that one. But anyway,
Nepal, I think.
Then we have this one, which is the Northern Lights. It's called the Northern Lights Farm Collection. I don't know about any of you guys. Northern Lights Black Spruce is one of my ultimate favorite smells. It's incredible. Any children that have night terrors where they wake up and they're like screaming or it's out of the blue stuff, Northern Lights works really well for that. And this is going to have the collection of all 4. So it's also one of the highest frequency oils because it's exposed to the Northern Lights. So it actually has that energy in it. The only thing is right now it's out of stock. That was a hugely popular item. It's driving me nuts. I have several people who want this and it's kind of back ordered. So I don't want to make you too excited about that one for now, but as soon as it comes back, grab it. Okay, next one is on the right-hand side. There's I know a South African just bought this and I'm sending it in a box to her. This is called the Haven kit. It's the Haven diffuser collection. It's a ceramic diffuser and it comes with vanilla and Christmas spirit with that. Okay, next one. And you can go through all of these and check all the prices. So for those who don't feel like making all the things. So again, we have another artisan thing. This is kind of the Joy set. It comes with earrings that actually has a little diffuser bead. So you would put Joy on that earring, which is really nice. So that's something that you can also gift to someone. And with these packages, they have a little note about who the artists are and such. Okay, and so then I kind of mentioned this before. Here's the, sorry, Lorianne. So this is the Vanilla Mint collection. It's the scrub and the lotion. It comes in a set of 2. It's $50 for both of those. It's a favorite, the Vanilla Mint smell. And remember that anytime they're using vanilla, it's the legit one that comes from Madagascar. So a lot of it has to do with why it's extra pricey. Winter Nights I spoke about, so you can get 3 options of that scent. It is amazing, and I smell a lot of the Northern Lights spruce in those. So yeah, any of those, and you can buy those separately. These are all the foaming hand soaps. So there's Christmas Spirit, the Thieves one, which is just our classic standard, and then there's the Winter Nights. Of course, there's lemon and lavender and other ones. They just highlighted those for the holidays. So that goes into that. Most of those come in a 3-pack as well, if you wanted. We spoke about the bath bombs. So over the holidays, they always bring out one that's kind of unique. These are in a star shape, I guess a snowflake, or I wish it was maybe a Star of David would be fun if there were. But anyway, these are stars and they have the dream catcher smell. So that's an option, really pretty, and it's just done for you. There's also a mindful mug set, which comes with that mug. It's really cute. The one side says like, what will I infuse in my life today? And then the other side says, what have I infused? So it just depends on if you've made it or you haven't yet. And it does come with that tea, and it does come with the tangerine oil as well, the Vitality one. So you could infuse your tea. Everyone is obsessed with Snowy the Owl. So there is Snowy. Snowy is exactly like Feather the Owl. For those of you who know that one, it's the same size, but Snowy is white for the holidays, since it's a, you know, white snowy time. And it comes with Kidsense Kid Power, which is definitely one of my all-time top favorite smelling oils. I'm obsessed. It smells like a lemon, like a sweet lemon. That's what it smells like. And for those of you who've ever been to Israel, there's something called like Arctic Limon, which is like a lemon popsicle. I think the equivalent here would be like a creamsicle, except that it smells like vanilla lemon. It's so, so delicious. And that is to actually give kids like calm and bravery. That's the purpose of it. So it kind of works like Valor. And then it also comes with the Kidsense Calm, I believe it is. Yeah. Okay. So then you have these Kidsense rollers now, which is so nice. They pre-make these for you. So they look really pretty. They're like amazing. It's such a great collection. So that's something I'm working on, getting each one of those. So you can get each of them individually. I know for me, we don't use Genius in my house. I don't really have a need for it, but all those others are, I'm obsessed. The Owie oil, great gift. I have a niece who's a dancer. She's always getting bruised. So she always asks me for Owie oil. And then you have the very cute, like sanitizer holders, which are always fun to add to your kid's backpack. And there is a little reindeer one, but the other two, it's an owl or a bear. So they're really cute. My daughter is like obsessed. She saw someone order one of those. She's like, oh, are these for me? I'm like, no, I'm sorry. They're not for you. So cute. So then you have the whole holiday starter bundle collection. It comes with that bag to travel, comes with that diffuser, and all of these essential oils. So that would be a really nice gift for someone if you wanted to give them all those things. And then here is CBD. This is a new one. It's a brand new product. Actually, all of these are pretty much brand new. This one is called the CBD Beauty Boost. So it's actually for using by your eyes. It's particularly to prevent wrinkles. And that's why it comes with the eye mask, which is kind of made from silk. Silk is always going to prevent wrinkles. I was just gifted a silk pillowcase for doing a sleep training for someone, which I thought was very, very thoughtful, because she's like, I want you to enhance your sleep now too. So yeah, and that's very good for your hair, your skin, and wrinkles. So I'm kind of learning all about the silk thing. So this one is the set of the lip balms that I was talking about. It's cinnamon, vanilla mint, grapefruit, and lavender. So really nice little ideas, stocking stuffers or teacher gifts, whatever you need. This is incredible. I have seen it. And this is basically an advent calendar. My Jewish family, these girls are obsessed with an advent calendar. So I just make it up. I say, okay, we're going to do whatever these days leading up to Hanukkah, even though it doesn't always quite add up, but they just get excited about counting down days. So for anyone, any kid, any family who loves to count down, they have put in an oil in there from all the different farms, and it was also like, it's quite artistic. There's also other things in there, not only essential oils. So you get this whole box, it's beautiful, and you get to choose each one each day, and you kind of just get surprised, which is awesome. So yeah, that's something kind of for you. And there's the teaser of the Northern Lights ones, and that's it. So that's the holiday collection. Lorianne loves giving this gift, so why don't you talk about that one? We're very close to the end.
I do.
Sorry.
This is the end, but it's a great way. It's also how we started the class, was drinking Thieves Tea. But this is a really fun one. You can actually get a mug of your choice or don't. I mean, totally up to you. I've gifted it without the mug. And then Thieves essential oil and lemon essential oil. You can buy the 2 smaller Vitality oils for very inexpensive. And then you can add your favorite honey. So there's a lavender farm nearby us. I like to choose a honey that's from wherever my friend is. And so buy that honey for them. And then you have this little kind of a tea on me that they can enjoy, you know, from a distance and think of you. Or you can even arrange for like a Zoom with them to have tea and catch up. Just a fun little gift. It doesn't even have to be the holidays for it. And then I'm obsessed with bees and honey. So like you can get little honey sticks, like crazy packs. I bought way too many probably for a normal person, but on Amazon. And then you can just include those. And then also they do have little sample packs. So if you only wanted to literally mail them 1 cup of tea and you wanted to get it in an envelope, you could totally do so with the little packs of 10 and just take one of the little, just enough for a cup of tea inserts out of that and mail that in an envelope for the holidays, or just because. That is all.
Yeah, they come in the little sachets. So here is the Young Living resources where Lorianne always pulls a lot of information from. So Young Living has a Facebook group. It's called Young Living Essential Oils. Then they have a blog, which is awesome. If you're not following and reading their blog, you should. They have such great ideas and they do awesome little instructional videos. So it's called youngliving.com/blog, and they call it the Lavender Life blog. And then they have an Instagram called Young Living. So then we have, I think this one's probably going to be the South Africa one next, which is our resources, but I'll share with you guys what there is. Oh, it is the US one. It's awesome. Thanks, Lorianne. So yeah, there's a Facebook group, which I have called Essentially Speaking. There's also the Hello Essentials one, which is the bigger global one. The WhatsApp group, I hope you guys are on my WhatsApp group, which is called Essentially Speaking. This is where I share about these classes and such. And you can also always write like a question, or I'll share an idea every now and again. So it's just nice to have other community of oilers and people responding there and then. And Instagram, I do have essentially.speaking. You're also all welcome to follow my South African one, which is actually hello.essentials.south.africa. So I'm managing that one and sharing tips on there too. And then we will send you guys a follow-up email. We'll talk about our raffle winner. You'll get this recording, and then you'll get next class's info, which is going to be that spruce up your self-care. So thank you so much for joining today. I know that it was a little longer than we planned because we love sharing extra tips, but hopefully you enjoyed and now you feel inspired to make some gifts. So happy gift making and happy December.